Title of this video is called Know Your Bus Route Demographics, which means like, is it students? Is it construction workers? Is it elderly taking a bus route? Things like that. A bus route that was introduced in 2013. Is it 13 or 14? I cannot remember. But basically, this was introduced to offload 195 between Tiong Bahru and Telok Blangah Way. So the good thing about 121 is that it goes inside Crescent and Rice. It's not just for elderly, but people who live along Crescent and Rice, they benefit from 121 as well. Just gonna draw it out real quick, like something along this, something along these lines. Oops. Okay, that's better. So this is Xi'an, and then this is Outram Road. This is where the current Havelock MRT is. So yeah, it benefits as well. And then obviously 195 goes like this. So yes, 195 is the direct route, and then 121 is the windier route. But 121, why it even winds in the first place is because to bring people from this MRT station, Tiong Bahru, closer to their doorstep. And 121 has an insane number of one-stop demand and sometimes two-stop demand. It is also useful for elderly who live along, say, the top part of like Jalan Bukit Ho Swee, Havelock Road, Indus Road, Bio Crescent. I think Bio Crescent is like this. Then there is one mosque over here. Okay, as I was saying, there's one mosque over here, and then there's another mosque over here, Masjid Al Amin. So it's a good route for Friday prayers. In essence, most of the elderly demand is like concentrated around this area. Okay, more of like inside Crescent and inside Rice, and elderly living along this stretch, or elderly living along like this stretch. It's also helpful like when to access it from like TEL, because it's the only bus service that turns left. So yeah, even this also works. But there is a reason why I mentioned elderly. Now obviously 121, it from like Xi'an and Outram, it used to go, why does it do that? Okay, it used to go New Bridge and stop doing that. Okay. Kampong Baru. But before that it was like New Bridge Road. And then cause now 57, no, not 57. Cause now 75 is gone from this side, to compensate at least a portion of the route, and also to ensure that Havelock, Outram Park, okay, Maxwell is kind of like inaccessible, so you kind of have to give that up. But at least there's like 80 and 145 outside. But okay, so it's like Havelock, Outram, and then Shenton Way. Okay, 121 doesn't necessarily touch Shenton Way bus terminal, but the thing is that it touches like somewhere that's like near a bus interchange, and somewhere that's like at least near Shenton Way. So it's like an okay-ish compensation for it. But how do we make it better? You see, Service 400 has a really terrible fare box recovery rate, and 11, I assume, is like whenever there's like cruise center arrivals, and then they take 400 to either Marina South Pier, or they just take it to like Shenton Way or something, bus terminal. I don't know, but yeah. So since 400 is kind of useless, to put it short, you market this as like a, because there's a lot of elderly along this route, Pioneer Tours bus route. You kind of like market it as a sightseeing or like, I don't know how to say, domestic tourism bus route for the elderly, because it's like it brings the elderly from like Teluk Blangah, from Kim Tian, Tiong Bahru, Ganges Avenue, which is like Havelock, that side. You let service 121 just straight up eat up all the demand from 400. So, because 400 only terminates at Shenton Way, you might as well just like merge these two so that it's more useful. And then, because 121 already has like red and white destos, like red and white plates, it is perfectly okay to make it call Gardens by the Bay twice, like in both directions. And then obviously you send it to like Marina South Pier, like the cruise center. And then near the cruise center, you just make a new, I don't know, Marina South ITH. It's quite sad that they scrapped it, but again, if there are future plans for it, if they decide to revive it, especially like as a replacement for Marina Center Terminal, which is like up north, if they decide to revive it, then yeah, you can make 121 merge 400. And the reason why this would be useful is because it's additional MRT redundancy, especially if TEL proves out. Shenton Way, Gardens by the Bay, Marina Bay, and then Marina South. Not Pier, but Marina South, that unopened station. Okay, the reason why I'm saying all this is because nearby you also have another bus route. So it's like you have 121 obviously from like Teluk Blangah, Crescent, Rise. Then you have basically what I explained just now. Ganges Avenue. You link these areas all the way to CBD. Because right now it just ends at Shenton Way. You make it go either Cecil or Robinson, and then Shenton Way. It's gonna increase in demand, obviously. Instead of having to like transfer to 400, then you bring all these people to, especially the elderly, you encourage them to go sightseeing at like Gardens by the Bay, and then that artificial dam called I mean, are all dams artificial? I know there are some natural dams, but like when we talk about dams, it's usually artificial. So there is that artificial dam called Marina Barrage, which basically turned that basin into a reservoir. Marina Barrage. So yes, this one is sightseeing. It's quite nice. Brings back memories of 400 Mercedes-Benz 0405. But like, okay, there's Marina Barrage, there's Gardens by the Bay, and then there's a cruise center as well. Why am I writing like this? Cruise center. So you're giving them doorstep, a like a direct access. So that's 121, and nearby you also have 123 that goes. Okay, why did I draw the diagram like this? Okay, 123. You're connecting Tiong Bahru. You're linking up Bukit Permai, which is where again a lot of elderly live there. Which is why Bukit Permai, they need to have like the red and white plates. It's not like, Edge Pongo, there is this like Edgefield and Edgedale, whereby 386 only calls like one bus stop, one direction, but then 123 has to have this. It's unlike Service 300 in the past, whereby they're like separate bus stops, but you have to call this side, you have to call this side, simply because there's a lot of like elderly living along this area. I mean, that's why they all need to have like red white plates. So you have Tiong Bahru, you have Bukit Permai, and then for 123, you bring Tiong Bahru and Bukit Permai straight to Sentosa. And basically, this 121 that I designed, technically, this was kind of my friend's idea as well. So I didn't technically design it, but it's similar. It's meant to bring people from the residential areas, especially the elderly. In this case, I mean, not just elderly, like people of all ages. But you get my point. It's basically this 121 that we designed is designed to mimic 123 is currently doing right now. You're bringing people from Teluk Blangah, Tiong Bahru, Ganges Avenue, all to these like sightseeing areas, and of course MBS, cause at least this 121 stops near MBS, cause it's like MBS is like just next door to like Gardens by the Bay. So yeah, you're bringing people to all these like new sightseeing areas. So this is kind of what my friend meant when he meant like pioneer tours. And then the same person, my friend, he brought up Service 10. Okay, you know Service 10 is bound to be susceptible to like the Circle Line 6 bus route cuts that will render this bus service non-existent. Yes, both the trunk and the express. It's like under discussion right now internally. So for Service 10, instead of like putting it to just Shenton Way, he suggested that in the meantime, you truncate it to Harbourfront so that it can at least still touch 188. Then 188 you might extend to Shenton Way in future. As in, this is just one of the. This is just an idea of like how you could do it. So you do it in the same way as 123. Cause if you just cut it to Sentosa like that, I don't think people would take it well. It's like you have to cut it to Harbourfront so that they are like, oh, you cut the bus service, I'm not happy. That kind of thing. You need to like generate all these so-called negative feelings when it comes to like the change in the bus route, cutting off access, and only when the kind of like backlash has died down, you then extend this one, you then enhance this one to go inside Sentosa. You don't do it like all at once. You you do this intermediate stage so that it at least it helps to like soften the blow of chopping service 10. So once you soften the blow, you send it to Sentosa, and again it's the same concept. You're bringing like how do I say this? You're bringing Suntec, Esplanade, and then Collier Key, Raffles Key, Shenton Way. You're bringing all these areas to Sentosa, which again makes it makes Service 10 a sightseeing route. It doesn't destroy Service 10's purpose as a bus service from East Coast to Shenton Way. It's not gonna redefine it. It is still a bus that people will take to commute to work. But on top of that, to make Service 10 better during weekends, I mean, obviously, like every single day, Monday to Sunday, I'm gonna extend it to Shenton Way. I'm not saying like, oh, Service 10 goes to Shenton Way on weekdays and then Sentosa only on weekends. I mean, you could do that, but like, I'm just saying. I'm more of like saying that Service 10's purpose of like a bus that people take to work is not gonna change. It's just that like during the weekends when more people are free, they want to spend time with their family or they just want to like hang out at Sentosa, they can have the option to take Service 10 to Sentosa. So this is kind of like what I mean by knowing your demographics or trying to target new demographics, as in new demographics of like passengers. Again, this idea is not by me, it's by my friend, so all credit goes to him. Now I'm gonna talk about one that a lot of people don't understand. 851. So historically, 851 is technically kind of a new-ish route. It was introduced in like, I don't exactly remember, but it basically 850 got got integrated into 167, and then 851 was introduced as a result of the loss of 850, and then 851 now goes to new areas, Little India, Bugis, Chinatown, instead of like, yeah, those are the new areas of like 851 that 850 didn't cover, because 850 goes inside the city. So yeah, 851 is technically kind of new-ish. And when it was under like Trans Island, they had like 12 to 13 bendy buses because back then, yes, they really had a lot of spares to throw around. And then the bendy bus fleet gradually decreased because there was like no need to run so many to 6 to 7. And then when the 0405 okay, how should I put this? When 851 became wheelchair accessible, like when SMRT bought OC 500 LEs, LE means low entry. When 851 had to fulfill the wheelchair accessible bus quota, they kicked out all the 045s and replaced them with OC 500 LEs. So it's not like the Benny bus fleet at that time decreased or anything. The decrease was way before, but the OC 500 LEs, they only replaced the 0405s. And this kind of trend continued all the way till present day, whereby number of high capacity buses, it's still like, I think 4 to 7. And then the rest, 851 is still dominated with SDs. And a lot of people have been saying that like, oh, 851 is kind of useless because it's like all single deckers and only a few double deckers and yada yada yada. Okay, but all I have to say to you is that please actually go and study this bus route. Actually go and take it often. So 851, this is TEL, and then this is oh my god, this is north south line, and then this is Marymount, and Ang Mo Kio Avenue 6. You have to realize that, okay, there is Circle Line here, but Circle Line doesn't take you to where 851 takes you to. So the thing is, because 851 doesn't access TEL, it doesn't access North-South Line until like Yio Chu Kang. It serves the entirety of Ang Mo Kio Avenue 6 and Marymount, straight down, straight down, straight down, straight up, up, up. A straight bus service that serves people who have no immediate access. Actually, it's quite far anyway to NEL and what am I saying? To TEL or NSL. So yeah, it serves in between. Bad MRT access. They have a straight bus route. They will take the straight bus route. Every single bus stop of them. So it's not really worth it trying to get rid of like the local sectors of 851 in favor of like express or something along those lines, or rapid, I don't know. But like, anyway, the reason why 851 has to stay local is because if you actually observe and take 851, you would notice that a lot of people on 851 are elderly passengers, or like passengers going to like Little India, Bugis, or Chinatown. So uh okay, maybe I'll unpack it some more. So where does 851 serves? It serves Ang Mo Kio's polyclinic, which is at Avenue 6. Another mosque, Masjid Al Muta, I forgot how to spell it, I'm sorry. Mutakin or Mutakun? Yeah. There's bound to be elderly frequenting this mosque. And then it serves Ang Mo Kio Avenues 6 and Marymount, which is where a lot of the elderly tend to cluster along, especially Ang Mo Kio Avenue 6. You can go observe. I mean, some of the elderly, they come from like Khatib or Yishun, but again, a lot of them tend to be from Ang Mo Kio Avenue 6. And where exactly they're going is Novena. either for shopping, for church, like Sunday church, or like for hospital access. Because it also passes by KK Hospital, and then it also passes by like some more hospitals along Thompson Road. And then there's also the cultural estate demand. Again, it's either for shopping or if you just want to go to like the cultural estates. Little India, Bugis, or Chinatown. And not just that, yes, there is like no, no, not 63. What was I trying to say? Okay, from Henderson. 851 is really important for Henderson because Henderson, they don't have immediate access to 33 and 63. And you have to realize that Henderson, again, most of the demand from this area is not just students, it's elderly. Again, these people, they want to go Chinatown, they want to go Bugis. And then, cause 145, it kind of like throws one round at Tanjong Pagar Road. I mean, if they're going to like Lavender, then maybe they would take 145 or they would find some way to like change 33 and 63. But, anyways, Chinatown, Bugis, and Little India. Or they even take 851 to like Novena as well. For the exact same purposes that I mentioned, except that this one is coming from Henderson. So you realize why 851 has to be local. It has to call all stops. It cannot afford to skip stops. It is an elderly bus service. Ang Mo Kio, Marymount, Henderson, Tiong Bahru. This is a reason why it is way more worth it to like, uh, how do I put this? Because they are elderly. You don't really want to just spam high capacity buses, especially if they're not bendy buses. You spam single decker buses, but like at around let's say 9 to 12 minute frequencies, as opposed to making them wait like, I don't know, 15 to 17 minutes for like a high capacity bus. That's the reason why 851 has so many SDs. It's to basically have a more consistent frequency and to better serve these people, these people, as well as these people. I've talked about this before. Okay, I didn't even notice that Lucky Plaza had apartments. I genuinely didn't notice. Okay, but I've talked about this before. This bus stop, especially, as well as this bus stop, and sometimes this bus stop. There is a reason why every single bus service, other than 5, 105, 132, and 54, every single bus along this area gets funneled to these bus stops. Demographics: shoppers and people who are like staying at the hotel, tourists. There are shoppers here. There are shoppers at Lucky Plaza for Filipinos. I talked about this many times. And this one, yeah, it's pretty much the same catchment from Eon Orchard, Wisma Atria as well. Because you have to understand that, I talked about this before, there's a lot of access penalty from here to here. That's why 502, 518, they only call one direction. Like again, I've explained this before, and I don't really think I need to elaborate on why many Filipinos, they frequent malls like Lucky Plaza, and why Lucky Plaza is basically the most patronized one. But basically, just observe the passengers taking these following buses. And I'm not kidding. This one, on a Sunday afternoon, I forgot which part of afternoon. I think it's like 12 to 2 or something along those lines. I have seen once 39 packs 39 passengers alighting at Lucky Plaza. I'm not even kidding. Like, and 39 is just through the back door. I don't know how many people, like 3 to 5 maybe, alighted from the front door. But I counted exactly 39. So, again, this is what demographics is about. I mean, like, on weekends, again, just look at who are your customers. Customers in this case is like who are the ones like taking your bus service on the weekends. You can observe service 16 as well. Cause 16 goes Bukit Merah, Henderson, Tiong Bahru. 175 goes. I wouldn't be surprised if they take it all the way. It goes West Coast Alexandra Depot Road, Jalan Bukit Merah, and then both of them would share the same sectors along Zion Road, Great World City, Hook Kiang Road, Patterson Road. They will parallel each other until Lucky Plaza. Yeah, and yeah, just look at like how many Filipinos they stay along these areas that like 16 or 175 pass through. And I've even talked about 518 before. There's also Temasek Polytechnic students as well who take this bus to chill out, have a break. Even in between lessons or after lessons. But yes, in between lessons, I can confirm that like I have had people tell me that yes, this is basically the culture of like Temasek Poly students, that I'm not like just cooking something out of thin air. There is actually demand. So this is the reason why every single bus service is pushed to these bus stops. And then obviously Lucky Plaza, this bus stop is more convenient, but they don't mind taking it from this bus stop as well. Because if you look at the straight running bus services, 36, because 36 needs MRT access, it's the only one that loops via Tomlinson. They also push like once they also push like 77 and 174 to Tanks Plaza. And then Lucky Plaza they pushed 7, 16, 111, 123. 123 serving Lucky Plaza is because of history. It used to call like uh okay, historically I remember that Tanks and Lucky Plaza they were staggered like ever since the beginning of time. Maritas Mandarin and Midpoint Orchard, this I mean now it's called opposite Somerset MRT, but these two bus stops they were only staggered like a bit later throughout the course of history. But uh, this stagger has always existed. So 123 used to go Tanks Plaza, but then they changed it to Lucky Plaza because again 123 no longer goes to St. Mike's like the and then you using Scott's Road, it uses Orchard Road because it absorbed the old service 14 part of its route, or like you can say the first generation of 190, not the current 190, but the very first generation of SBS 190. So yeah, 123 serving Lucky Plaza is because of history, and then 502. 502 has to call Lucky Plaza at all costs. Otherwise, there would be no demand. I mean, there would still be like demand going to Suntec Bayfront, Shenton Way, but like Lucky Plaza is the bus stop that hard carries a lot of 502's demand, and that's kind of the reason why they evenly split these bus routes. Those that require MRT access, like 77, 174, they put it at Tanks. Those that they want to target it towards Lucky Plaza, as in those that they want to cater more towards Lucky Plaza, they make it cater towards Lucky Plaza. Why did I write 16? 106. Yeah, okay, so 7, 106, 111, 123, and 502, they cater it towards Lucky Plaza. Simple as that. That's what demographics really mean. One more thing, construction workers. This, this, this one, not just that. Okay, this one is more for like Alexandra office workers, but 30 at near Jalan Buroh. Yeah, I mean there are other options as well. But yes, and then obviously there's also all these bus services as well. One, two, 1, 2, 3. Oh yes, 246 along Chinbi and Quality and Jalan Tukang as well. All these bus services are specifically dedicated. There used to be 256, now it's replaced with 258. All these bus services, they target construction workers or like factory workers. And that's not all. Obviously, there's 925. But many people tend to forget this one. The reason why they even upsized 925M in the first place is because there is actually demand from like Kranji MRT or like from Marsiling or Woodlands, but mostly from Kranji. They fill up the entire bus back to their dormitories at Kranji. So this is not just like some tourist sightseeing route, domestic tourism. This is actually a bus service that is catered for like migrant workers, dormitory workers. And that's probably because either their private buses are not good, they suck, or like it's way too expensive to run a dedicated shuttle, especially to like Little India or stuff like them. I mean, why Little India is because most demographics wise, most of them tend to be from India, Bangladesh, or Pakistan. Every single one of their food items or like goods can be found near Little India or Farrer Park or like Tikka Center. So yeah, and recently you would see this trend that like nowadays the migrant workers they are actually learning how to take public transport, which is a good thing, which means there's like way more demand for these services. Not just that, but just look at 960 or 960E. You can even say 178 because 178 has that stretch along Jalan Ahmad Ibrahim. It's not just like Woodlands Road, like you know this one or this one. There are migrant workers taking 927 as well. 17896 1. Oh yes, there's one more. On Sunday nights, observe Clementi MRT bus stop westbound. A lot of them they take from Clementi to their dorms at Jalan Ahmad Ibrahim or Corporation Road, but I think mostly along Jalan Ahmad Ibrahim, because you know that area with like 49, 154, and 178, and then 201 like it serves like a little bit of it until it goes inside Penjuru Road. There's like 30 along that stretch as well. This is where the demand comes from, your migrant workers. I mean, can you see that? Like, even as the weekday hours got cut in April 2023, do you see that they don't even touch the weekend hours? Because, okay, by the way, this is 960E, in case you're curious. I've talked about this before, but there are actually who, uh, people as in like migrant workers, they take 925M to like Marsiling or Woodlands. They change 960E to Little India, and vice versa. Not just that. If you're coming from, uh, for this one you transfer at Marsiling, for this one you just board it at the interchange, Woodlands. If you're coming from like the Admiralty East or West dorms, I know there are dormitories there, as well as like Senoko Industrial Estate. I think there's bound to be dormitories near there as well. But I think that one's the Admiralty Road West dormitory. I've seen it before. Even these people, they can connect to 960E as well. And not just that, they even have another option, 857, Little India Farrer Park. Even though it's like uh, depending on where you're coming from, you can either choose 960, 960E, or 857. Again, just look at the demographics of 857 and why is it so crowded during weekends. That alone will explain why. And not just 857, 67 as well. You can see a lot of like migrant workers. They also board 67 as well, depending on where their dorms are at. Because if they take 67, most likely they're coming from 975. They take this to Little India and back. This is what demographics is about. The reason why I'm even saying this is because I have seen a lot of the bus enthusiast kids who don't know what they are even talking or doing. They cough out the stupidest amendments ever known to mankind, and then they say like, "Oh my God, I don't think I like 78. I don't think I like 285. I want to like integrate all of them together to form a trunk service." I don't know if my Asian accent impersonation is like good enough, but then they would say stuff like, "Oh, I don't like all of these bus services because they are hub spoke and then they fetch air during the day. Why not we run a bus service from Tuas straight to Pioneer Road to Jalan Buro to Clementi to Harbourfront and then, oh, let's send it to Changi Airport because I want a bus service that runs from west to east." I don't like this bus service. I think it has no demand because I didn't observe it during the correct times, and that's why this bus service should just withdraw. Or just extend to Ling Chu Kang to Boon Lay to, I don't know. I think 178's route is like really inefficient and it should be changed. I don't like 154 being a local bus service. I want it to be express. On a serious note though, maybe 30E deserves like a boost. Maybe you could extend 30E to like, I don't know, say Jurong East or something and make the operation hours like a little longer or even midnight. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there is like midnight demand that who take service 30 who might benefit from 30E. Anyway, these are just ideas. Or they even say stuff like, "No, no, no, 961 is a complete duplicate of like 960 and 178. I don't want 961 to exist anymore. I don't care." Or they might be oblivious to this fact as well. Or even stuff like trying to make 857 not local, or even people saying, "Oh my god, 67 is useless because it duplicates DTO, EWO." So my main point is when people don't understand the bus demographic, the passenger demographics of different bus services, they are bound to say stupid stuff. To end it off, maybe I'll just try to list down some services with like student bus demographic. Maybe this one, this one, partially, and basically anything that goes to IT College Central or like what's that polytechnic's name? Nanyang Polytechnic, right? Nanyang Polytechnic is near Yio Chu Kang, if I'm not mistaken. I tend to forget. I'm really sorry. And then even 159 is like a mix between student and industrial worker demand. Industrial meaning those from like Serangoon North Avenue 5, 6, and Ang Mo Kio Avenue 5. And of course, residential demand as well. Or you can even say pretty much anything that goes to IT College West as well. I'm saying these, or maybe even 171 in the future when it gets extended to Tengah. And it's not just that. There is even a trend for like Republic Poly or IT College West students. They either come from here, they transfer to this one, or they transfer to this one. And of course, not to mention pretty much anything that goes inside National University of Singapore or National Technological University. And then this one's a mix of like residential demand, student demand, and like sort of like industrial demand near Jalan Bahar as well. They actually do take these bus services or they transfer to like 172. The thing is, as an outsider, if I can come up with these many bus services, you guys really need to do better, okay?